we've got some breaking news to get to. WPBL. What's that? What does it stand for? Welcome to a special emergency podcast episode on Sports for Beginners, part of Season 5. Heads up, ladies and gentlemen, could we be getting baseball professionally in women sports? Find out on this episode. Let's get rolling. Welcome to Sports for Beginners. This is the show where I cover the Pittsburgh Penguins, Toronto Blue Jays, and take you on a journey through the world of sports. From the fans' perspective, here is your host, Scott McGregor. Let's have some fun. Hello, everybody. Welcome to an emergency podcast episode of Sports for Beginners, the podcast, part of season number 5. It is not an actual episode of season number 5, but we've got breaking news to talk about. I'm your host, Scott McGregor. Welcome to this emergency podcast episode. Heads up, WNBA and Professional Women's Hockey League, PWHL, because we've got a new professional women's sports league joining the fray starting this August. But wait a minute, didn't baseball just begin? Aha, but that's the beauty of this league. You're going to know a lot about it by the end of the show. Of course, you can always look out the website, which, by the way, will be in the description of this episode. But if you want to learn more about it, please visit www.womensprobaseballleague.com. Let me reiterate that. www.womensprobaseballleague.com is where you need to go for all your information. Yes, it's true. For the first time ever since 1954, a new era of baseball is about to begin. First time in 70 years since women stepped onto a professional baseball field. And guess what? Circle 2026, August 1st on your calendar, because that's when it's going down. For the first time in 70 years, the best women baseball players in the world are competing on a professional stage. This is more than a league. It's a movement. Earlier today, the league announced the 4 teams competing in the inaugural season inspired by legends. They are the Boston Hunters, hailing out of Boston, Massachusetts, the New York Heights, hailing out of the Big Apple in New York, coming to us from Los Angeles. Say hello to the Los Angeles Queens. And last but certainly not least, hailing from the Bay Area in San Francisco, say hello to the San Francisco Firebells. Over the course of this emergency podcast episode, you'll find out all there is to know about each team, including, as we're going to start before we go to our first break, who they are inspired by, how long is the season, how long will playoffs be, and of course, who was the upstart league co-founder of the league. Also, we're not going to dive too much into the draft, but we are going to dive into how many innings will be played in each game, how many games will be played a week by a team, and again, how many games will the season be. Spoiler alert, it's a lot shorter than Major League Baseball. A lot shorter. And even shorter than the WNBA's current season schedule of games, which are 44 games. Going into next season, though, per the WNBA's announcement, they will be 50 games. So you went from 44 to 50. All right. Oh, and one thing's definitely for sure. It is definitely shorter than the National Hockey League schedule, which was 82 and is now going to be 84. All right, here we go. Let's get into what we need to know before we dive into the team names. The Professional Women's Baseball League, Women's Pro Baseball League, will debut in 2026, which is this year, on August 1st, 2026, and run from August 1st to mid-September, following a 2-week playoffs scenario after a 30-game season is done in mid-September, which would run from August 1st to mid-September. Games will be played from the first inning to the 7th inning, making the innings 8 and 9 extra innings, much like how the 8th and 9th inning are the limited amount of innings an MLB baseball game can go, with extra innings beginning at inning number 10. Games will be played Thursday through Sunday, and each team will play 2 games per week. Rosters will be 15 players. As far as bats are concerned, aluminum bats will be used. The WPBL said it wanted a neutral venue in the middle of the country. Games will be played in the Roberts Stadium with a capacity of 5,200, in Springfield, Illinois. The Phillies Hall of Fame pitcher was born in that city, by the way. The league is scheduled to begin play following the completion of the Women's Baseball World Cup in nearby Rockford, Illinois, which runs from July 22nd to July 26th. Speaking of those dates, those are actually coming up. So while the Women's Pro Baseball League is set to debut in August, the Women's Baseball World Cup is nearing its beginning stages of its season. And of course, as mentioned, it will start taking place following the Women's Baseball World Cup in Rockford, which runs from July 22nd to July 26th. Now, let's meet one of the 4 new clubs. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and take a break. And as we go to break in this emergency podcast episode, we'd like to remind you that over the course of these next few breaks, you'll get to meet, yes, you'll get to meet the competing, teams in the inaugural season of the WPBL, which is a 30-season game, a 4-week, 30-game season. And as I mentioned earlier on, it will be played in 7 innings at maximum for a game. That all being said, we're going to step aside on this emergency podcast episode to be exact. And when we return, we will meet the first of the 4 inaugural WPBL teams set to begin play August 1st, 2026. Hang with us. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. There's more great conversations and content right around the corner. Sports for Beginners will be right back in a moment.
Hi, Scott. It's Ali here. I just wanted to mention that I'm really enjoying the show and I'm really enjoying what you're putting together. And I wanted to just say I'm enjoying being a part of it as well. So please keep up the phenomenal work and make sure you guys keep this podcast going because it really suits you well.
CNT Radio will never give you up. They will never let you down, nor will they run around or desert you. So join Nick Astley for The Melting Pot every Saturday on CNT Radio. Hang on a minute. He's not Nick Astley. Oh, jings, I've done it wrong. Anyway, just join Nick for The Melting Pot on CNT Radio.
Hey, Allie, did you know we have a books panel?
I did not know that. When is it?
It takes place on the last Friday of each month at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Where we have fun and engaging conversations.
About a book that one of the panelists picks.
So, how can I learn more about the show?
To learn more, please visit bookspanel.ca. While you're there, subscribe to the newsletter so you never miss an update. Besides, it's free. Enter your email and hit subscribe.
The Books Panel is part of the Musa Slobodian Network, where good conversations happen.
To learn more about the network, please visit themusaslobodiannetwork.ca. While you're over there, hit subscribe so you never miss a network update. Enter your email and hit subscribe.
Take another look with Gerda Felix and Melanie Taddeo Malo, two powerful women of diverse backgrounds having genuine, unique, and uncomfortable conversations that everyone needs to have. Join Melanie and Gerda for conversations about what is missing from human connections.
Now, let's take you back to the action. To the rink and field we go. We find Scott McGregor.
Welcome back, folks, to the Sports for Beginners Breaking News Emergency Podcast episode talking about the Professional Women's Baseball League. That's going to take a while to get used to saying. But yes, the WPBL is coming soon, and it begins play August 1st, 2026. So, one thing I will let you guys know very quickly is a little letter and message from the commissioner, who also is the co-founder of this league. Justine Segal made this announcement in a nice letter. She confirming the announcement of the WPBL. Justine says, across the USA and around the world, women have always played baseball, from backyard games with older siblings to rec leagues across the country. Women have found ways to play the sport they love. Baseball is America's pastime, but the professional game hasn't evolved to reflect the diversity of those who play, watch, and love this sport. That's about to change. A long-time dream is coming into focus. A professional women's baseball league for a new generation. The Women's Pro Baseball League is here. We are creating a stage where elite women's baseball players will have a place to shine, and establishing a pipeline for every girl who dreams of competing at the highest level one day. A league of their own for the first time since the AAGPBL of the 1940s. This league is just one part of a larger cultural shift. Women in sports are finally getting the recognition they deserve. We're at the beginning of a new chapter, and it's time for our athletes to write their story. What started as an idea is now a reality. We're less than 5 months away from the WPL's opening day, from the WPBL's opening day on August 1st, 2026, and already so much has happened. The world has taken notice, and hundreds of thousands of people have tuned in to follow along. People just like you, thank you for supporting this league, for supporting women in baseball. You are a part of history. The next chapter begins this August. We hope you'll join us in making history. Justine Segal, PhD, Commissioner of the Women's Pro Baseball League, UP. What a nice message from her. I apologize, Justine, if I was rolling down or tripping over the words of your actual message, but there's one part in your message that really stuck with me. And that's when you said, baseball is America's pastime, but the professional game hasn't evolved to reflect the diversity of those who play, watch, and love this sport. And it was when you said, that's about to change. And then you brought up the history of women in baseball, bringing up the AAGPBL of the 1940s. I wasn't even alive when that was even going on, so I have no idea what that is or what that stood for. We're learning stuff every day. Speaking of learning stuff, it's time to learn one of the 4 pro women baseball teams going to take flight this August and step on the baseball diamond for the very first time in August. We're talking about the Boston Hunters to lead us off in our introduction to the inaugural four, who will play in the inaugural season of the W. Today, we're incredibly excited to reveal the names of the 4 teams that will take part in the inaugural season of the Women's Pro Baseball League. These identities stand on the shoulders of giants, with each team name inspired via visionary women who blazed her own trail and paved the way for those who followed. We carry the legacies of these women with us as we prepare to take the field and write our own names into the history books. Introducing the Boston Hunters, New England's coastal hunter, the osprey, doesn't circle and wait. It picks its target, folds its wings, and hits the water, talons first. We move fast, and we move first, striking out the competition. Yep, you heard me. Striking out the competition. My apologies for that. There we go. Striking out the competition without hesitation. The team inspiring the Hunters is inspired by Harriet Hunt, who, like the osprey, set her mind on a goal and made it happen. A trailblazing physician, she was one of the first women to practice medicine professionally in the United States of America, despite being denied admission to Harvard twice because of her gender. Like Harriet, the Hunters are ready to leave their mark on history in the history books. So that's a pretty good name, actually. I really like it. And I also like the motto there. We move fast and we move first, striking out the competition without hesitation. That's quite an interesting promo for this team. All right, let's meet before we go to a break, as we will meet each team in a series of segments. We will meet Los Angeles Queens and the Boston Hunters in this segment. And in the next section, we will meet the New York Heights and the San Francisco Firebells in the next portion. With that said, as this emergency podcast episode continues, let's meet the Los Angeles Queens. Representing the jewel of the West Coast, we're ready to wear the crown, inspired by our namesake Lizzie Murphy, nicknamed the Queen of the Diamond. The LA Queens are built on the confidence, presence, and influence she carried throughout her trailblazing career, qualities that also define Los Angeles. Lizzie Murphy broke barriers at a time when opportunities for women in sports were extremely limited, showing the world how true talent rises to the top. We carry the Queen of the Diamond's legacy, channeling her confidence, ambition, and style. It's time to claim the throne. All right, folks, we will step aside for a little bit. When we return, we will meet the New York Heights and the San Francisco Firebells. And before the program is up, we will meet the schedule for the first week of action from August 1st to August 9th, beginning with action starting on Saturday, August 1st. We will meet all of that once we meet the San Francisco Fireballs and the New York Heights. We meet those teams and who they were inspired by when we return. This emergency podcast episode will continue shortly, so stick with us. Don't go anywhere. There's more great conversations and content right around the corner. Sports for Beginners will be right back in a moment. Hello fans, it's Scott McGregor, host of Sports for Beginners, the podcast, and Bills Postgame. Join us this season, both the day after the game and the day before the game, or day of the game, for some Bills postgame / pregame before they kick off action, with tons of great content for you to enjoy. It all kicks off in week 1, So be sure to check out the Buffalo Bills schedule. And new this year, we're going to try our best to get you some preseason action. Get us a look at the action between the Buffalo Bills and their preseason opponents. You won't want to miss it. It all happens exclusively on Sports for Beginners, the podcast, coming your way this summer. You won't want to miss it. Let's go, Bills. Let's go, Bills Mafia. It's coming your way. Don't miss it.
Have you ever wondered about the books we've been reading throughout the week?
Are you looking for friendly banter and technology tips at the same time?
Then you've come to the right place.
Check out the Ali and McCara Show. It airs live on Sunday afternoons at 3:30 p.m. Eastern.
Until spring. In the spring, we'll switch back to Mondays.
To learn more about the show, please visit thealiandmccarashow.ca.
While you're there, subscribe to the newsletter so you never miss an update. And besides, it's free.
Enter your email address and hit subscribe.
The Ali and McCara Show is part of the Musa Slobodian Network, where good conversations happen.
To learn more about the network, please visit themusaslobodiannetwork.ca.
Enter your email and hit subscribe so you never miss network updates.
CNT Radio will never give you up. They will never let you down, nor will they run around or desert you. So join Nick Astley for The Melting Pot every Saturday on CNT Radio. Hang on a minute. He's not Nick Astley. Oh, jings, I've done it wrong. Anyway, just join Nick for The Melting Pot on CNT Radio.
Now, let's take you back to the action. To the rink and field we go. We find Scott McGregor.
All right, thank you very much, Ali, for bringing us back in here on our emergency podcast episode. Be sure to check out everything Ali and McCara, I should say, and of course, Sienna have going now with Techstravaganza, as well as the Ali, the Moose, I should say, and Slobodian Network, and of course, Sienna, what she's got going on Sienna T Radio. But back to our topic of conversation. We've got two more teams to meet, and wow, this is definitely somebody that we got to highlight. And I'm glad the New York Heights are actually inspired by her. Ladies and gentlemen, we've met the Boston Hunters and the Los Angeles Queens. We have the New York Heights and the San Francisco Firebells left to meet. We're going to start with the New York Heights, who are inspired by this woman, who many of you may know and many of you may not know, named Dorothy Height. Here's what we need to know on the New York Heights. Besides the players and, of course, the staff, which we'll talk about on a future episode of Sports for Beginners, I'm sure, if we're able to do so. Here to take the game to new heights, built around the ambition, intensity, and relentless standards associated with New York, the Heights demand excellence. Just like our namesake, Dorothy Height, we're ready to rise to the occasion. Woo-wee. All right. Ready to rise to the occasion. Well, let's see what you got. One of the most famous, influential leaders of the civil and women's rights movements is Dorothy Height. She dedicated her life to advancing equality for all. As we take the field, we're inspired by her confidence, leadership, and unwavering commitment to her goals. Just like Dorothy Height, we're ready to rise to the occasion and change the game. Wow. So far we've met teams inspired by the Queen of Baseball, Lizzie Murphy, a physician and women's rights activist in Harriet Hunt, and we have met a civil and women's rights activist. I wonder which women is inspiring the San Francisco Firebells? Well, let's find out, shall we? Forged in fire, inspired by the rebellious spirit of Firebell, I should say, Lil of Firebell Lil, San Francisco has burned and rebuilt more than any other American city. But like a phoenix, each time we're knocked down, we come back stronger. As a teenager, Lily Firebell Lil Hitchcock Coit, hopefully I could say that right. I think I got that right. Anyways, famously leaped into action to help San Francisco volunteer firefighters battle a blaze on Telegraph Hill. She became an icon for the firefighters, known for rebellious attitude and open defiance of the gender norms of the time. Like Firebell Lil, we show up and show out, bringing our energy, pride, and ambition with us every time we hit the field. I don't know which of the four I like better. The San Francisco Firebells, the New York Heights, the Los Angeles Queens, or the Boston Hunters. I don't know. It's hard for me to pick. And I'm a Canadian, but I'm also a Blue Jays fan. So these are American teams in women's baseball. But you know what? I'm taking notice just as the world has taken notice on these teams as we speak. And with that said, we're almost at a full moment of our show here, but we are going to shorten it up a bit and take a quick commercial break. When we come back, inaugural season 2026 WPBL schedule, August 1st to August 9th, 2026, will kick us off into our sunset of the conclusion of our episode. This is an emergency podcast episode of Sports for Beginners, one we haven't done in quite a while. But it's also about some breaking news, and that breaking news continues with a schedule set up already on the league's website, womensprobaseballleague.com, set to change. Reminder that season ticket for the 2026 WPBL, for the WPBL, I should say, inaugural season, are available now. Find out how you can get your tickets by checking out the website or going to a tab they call tickets on the website. And for all the news you need to know as we go to break, make sure you check out the news tab on the website. An exciting day for women's baseball is upon us, and Women in Sports continues their historic growth coming in August. And honestly, I'd say it's about time. I mean, 1954, 70 years, 54 years, something like that. I don't know how long that is. I'll have to double check the math to be sure, but I'm pretty sure it's 70 years. I'll double check the math as we go to break. But wow, I mean, it's been a long time coming for professional women's baseball sports. And I think it's about time the women get their shot. What say you, Erica? Let me know in the comments or send me an email. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. There's more great conversations and content right around the corner. Sports for Beginners will be right back in a moment.
Have you ever wanted a talk show that discusses news, politics, the show's favorite sports teams, as well as sports media and broadcasting? Check out The Ali Musa Show, where we discuss these topics in a single package. To learn more about the show, please visit thealimusashow.ca. While you're over there, subscribe to the newsletter so you never miss an update. Besides, it's free. Enter your email address and hit subscribe.
The Ali Musa Show is part of the Musa Slobodian Network, where good conversations happen. To learn more about the network, please visit themusaslobodiannetwork.ca. While you're there, subscribe so you never miss a network update. Enter your email and hit subscribe.
Now, let's take you back to the action. To the rink and field we go. We find Scott McGregor.
All right, welcome back, folks, to the show. Sports for Beginners emergency breaking news podcast episode talking about the WPBL. And I just did some math here on not on my computer. I was going to do it on my computer, but I did it on my phone where we are running everything here for our recording. It's an all audio recorded show, but that is besides the point. The point being that in terms of how long women have waited for a professional sports league, it has indeed been 70 years since women first stepped foot on a baseball field. And guess what? When you actually add it up, the 1954 to 2026, if you do 2026, take away 1954, by the time we begin play, it will have been 72 years in the making before this has finally become a real thing, as it is today, about to begin to become real. All credit to the league itself before we dive into the schedule, as that will take us right up to the end of our emergency podcast broadcast episode for this season, number 5. Our first one we've done in quite some time. And all credit, though, to the WPBL for audio, as you'll be able to hear this through audio. Hopefully our audio will work for this video. We will also have a link in the description of this episode for you to check out. Apologies for tripping over my words. With that said, let's hear this special video. All credit to the person narrating it in Sarah, Spain. And of course, all credit to the WPB. Have a listen.
Women.
Okay, we seem to have hit a pause here. Let me start that again.
Women have always played baseball. Back then.
Okay, folks, we seem to be having a little bit of technical issues. Let me pull it back up here. It hasn't been running well with us here, so we're going to try and make this work the best that we can. You know what? We will play the video, or the audio, I should say, because this is going to be audio for the duration of our show. We'll play it after we go over quite a bit of our schedule from August 1st to August 9th. So it all begins on Saturday, August 1st, 2026, when the Queens of Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Queens, take on the New York Heights. Oh, and by the way, I should mention that all of these games will be played at Robin Roberts Stadium, so the venue will not change for all 4 of these teams. They will be playing in the same venue as a neutral site venue for all 4 clubs. The New York Heights and the Los Angeles Queens get things going at 5 p.m. on August 1st. That is first pitch, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Pacific. The action continues on Sunday, August 2nd, with the San Francisco Firebells taking on the Boston Hunters at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 Pacific is first pitch on that day. Wednesday, August 5th, when the action continues, the Boston Hunters will take on the Los Angeles Queens. First pitch, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 Pacific. On Thursday, same time, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, 3:30 Pacific. It will be the New York Heights going head-to-head against the San Francisco Firebells. That's Thursday, August 6th. On August 7th, the first Friday that they will have action in the season, we will have the matchup between the Los Angeles Queens and the San Francisco Firebells, which will be at 6:30 Eastern. And then our first afternoon game of the season will also feature the inaugural doubleheader of action for the league, which will feature first at 1 p.m. Eastern, the New York Heights and the Boston Hunters. Then later in the day at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, check out the San Francisco Firebells playing the Los Angeles Queens. And on Sunday, wrapping things up, the New York Heights go one-on-one with the Boston Hunters at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And with that said, they also have a game August 12th. That will be San Francisco and Los Angeles. Game time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern in week number 1 of the season. And that's all we have right now. Well, actually, that's all that I can see right now, but there are more. But in the first week, August 1st to 9th, we will see teams play each other once each day, but twice a week on different dates. All right, there we go. We have reached the conclusion of our program. As I had mentioned before, if you want to know more about the WPBL, log on to womensprobaseballleague.com for all the latest news. They also have a following on social. You can follow the league on social through Instagram, TikTok, what we now call X, but I still call Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, LinkedIn. As for where you could follow the podcast for us, we are not on LinkedIn. We are on Instagram, but it's my own personal account. I'm also on X. We have a WhatsApp account as well for our network that is in the process of being made. We're still trying to figure everything out best we can. And of course, we're on YouTube. Weekly in Sports with Scott is our YouTube channel, and we're on Facebook as well. Links will be in the description, as many as we can get in there. All right, folks, I think we'll close out our show before we get to our music with the audio that I've been promising you, narrated by Sarah Spain. Let's see if we can get this rolling. Sarah Spain narrated one of the very first videos you will ever hear from the WPBL. All credit to the WPBL and Sarah Spain, who was the narrator of this video and audio. For copyright reasons, this is for entertainment purposes only, and a link to the video will also be provided in the description of this episode, if I'm able to find this video. With that said, let's try this again and see if we can get it rolling. All right, here we go. Okay, give it a moment. It is loading, ladies and gentlemen. Give it a moment.
Women have always played baseball. And today, we trained hard, played tough, and never. Now, it's our time again. 4 teams, 1 mission. To become Women's Pro Baseball League champions. In San Francisco, we carry on the spirit of Lily Firebell Lil Hitchcock Thwaite, who challenged convention and never accepted the status quo. Like our city, forged by fire and rebuilt time and again, the San Francisco Firebells always rise stronger. Our mark unites the bell and the phoenix, both the alarm and the answer. In Boston, we prepare to strike with the courage and conviction of trailblazing physician and women's rights activist Harriet Hunt. Like the osprey that hunts New England's coastline, we move with purpose, precision, and fearless determination. Baseball history runs deep here, and the Boston Hunters are ready to write a new chapter. In Los Angeles, bold dreams become reality. Like Queen of the Diamond Lizzie Murphy, the first woman to play against major league players who never waited for permission. She earned her place. The Los Angeles Queens don't inherit the crown. We earn it. In New York, we rise with purpose, inspired by Dorothy Height, known as the godmother of the civil rights movement. Like the buildings of our city's iconic skyline that never stops reaching higher, we keep climbing, pushing boundaries, and never settling. We are the New York Heights. This is more than a game. It's a shift. This is more than a league. It's a turning point.
Wow, more than a league, it's a turning point. And of course, this is more than a game, it's a shift. But again, you got to go back to the moment where we found out that this is more than a league, it's a movement. I cannot wait for these games to get going. I may not cover as many of them, but we'll try to save some time on our podcasts to give you some updates in women's pro sports, especially the WNBA, the PWHL, and of course, now the WPBL. This is going to be fun. I'm telling you right now. I can't wait for it to get started. Folks, That's going to do it for this episode of Sports for Beginners. That's going to do it for this emergency podcast episode of Sports for Beginners. I'm your host, Scott McGregor. Thank you so very much for being with us, whether it's your first time or somewhere in between. We really appreciate you coming out to join us for this show. We will be back with you again next week for a continuation episode of our PWHL draft recap series going to the Seattle Torrent from PWHL Minnesota and of course PWHL Vancouver, the Vancouver Golden Knights and Minnesota Frost. We will be back with you again next week to cover the Torrent. We also may be back with you next week to talk with Philip Hooversmoot. So whatever the case may be, we will have it for you on Sports for Beginners when we get an opportunity to do so. So make sure you hang with us. Women's Professional Baseball League comes our way in August, and I can't wait for it to get started. Until then, everybody, we'll see you next time, right here in Sports for Beginners. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to Sports for Beginners. If you would like to learn more about the show, you can visit the podcast Facebook page or visit the official website. You can also send us an email at sportsforbeginnerspodcast8231@gmail.com. As we always remind you, it is not goodbye, it is until next time.
Humans have been reaching for the stars since the beginning of time. It's human nature to push ourselves to the limits of possibility. From the beginning of time, every mode of transportation has invited competition. Global audiences continue to flock to the latest platforms and new experiences. And audiences love a competition they can get behind. Atlas Cup marries the excitement of space exploration, the thrill of F1 racing, the energy of a world championship, and creates an entirely new sport. The world is ready for space racing. Being first is everything.